Rise and Grind DMV, happy Sunday. We are waking up to sunny skies across the area, but it's quite cold, so keep it here. We'll talk more about a warm-up coming up in that 7-day forecast.
This morning on DC News Now, the search continues for a missing little girl. We talked to loved ones who are not giving up on finding Relisha Rudd. And a police officer now on leave after shooting a man while off duty. What investigators believe happened. Plus, the figure skating community honors the lives of those lost in the mid-air collision near DCA. We're telling you what to expect from Legacy on ice.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hey there, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on DC News Now. I'm Joseph Aquila. Your time, it is 8 o'clock, and it is Sunday, March 2nd, 2025. But it feels like January out there, people. Let's send you outside with a live look this morning over Roslyn. That wind that we were dealing with yesterday is just refusing to leave us. The sun's up. It is pretty out there, at least visually. What it's going to feel like, not so beautiful. I continue to blame Brittany Ward.
I don't know why you're blaming me. I warned you yesterday.
I know, but like...
No, my job is to tell you.
Your job is to make it go away.
My job is not to make it go away. It's for me to tell you about the weather.
Well, you do a great job. And I told you. You do a great job telling us. That I will say you do. So how long do I have to deal with this 20 whatever degree temperature?
You know, you're going to be dealing with it again tomorrow morning, heading out the door, but then we slowly start to see warmer conditions as we head into the work week. So, got to deal with it for one more morning before we start to see that slight warm up, but at least we're going to be dealing with sunny skies. Satellite and radar showing you high pressure off into the Ohio Valley. That's going to move into our area as we head through the afternoon, providing us with more wall-to-wall sunshine. The good news is, as high inches closer to the DMV, that's when we'll finally start to see those winds begin to die down. But yes, it is still very cold out there. Stepping out the door early this morning, we woke up to those morning lows in the teens to 20s. And then as we take a look at the temperatures right now, we're still holding on to below freezing temperatures. It's currently 26 right now in DC, so we're only about 3 degrees warmer from our morning low. 21 currently in Hagerstown. It's 19 degrees there in Kaiser. It's also a bit of a breeze, so when you factor in the cold and then you factor in those breezy conditions, that gives you a wind chill value. This is what it feels like on your skin. It feels like 14 degrees in DC. It feels like 8 as you head over there to Kaiser as well as Cumberland. So keep it here, Tosin. We'll talk more about that warm up in that 8-day forecast.
Brittany, thank you. We'll check in with you again very soon. 8:02 is your time. Where is Relisha Rudd? It is the question so many people have been asking for 11 years now. And it is a question heavy on the minds of loved ones last night, a day that marked the 11th anniversary of the little child's disappearance. DC News Now's Dave Laval talked with one volunteer on a quest to find out what happened to this young girl.
Henderson Long goes door to door at the Kenilworth Parkside Apartments in Northeast D.C. The private detective passes out flyers he hopes will lead him to what happened to Relisha Rudd. The 8-year-old girl vanished back on March 1st, 2014.
If y'all saw anything or know anything, just give the police a call. You never stop canvassing. You never stop soliciting the community to come forward.
This security footage from a Northeast D.C. motel shows Rudd with 51-year-old Khalil Tatum, a janitor at the homeless shelter where Relisha lived with her family. Police suspected the man in the girl's disappearance. He shot and killed himself a month later. The footage is the last time anyone saw Relisha.
Well, I have days I feel she's alive. I have some days where I feel as though she's deceased.
Long has taken part in the search for Rudd since her disappearance.
We'll be here every year. As long as I have breath, I'm going to be here. There you go.
No luck for Long, but he's not about to give up his search. In the Kenilworth neighborhood in Northeast, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
DC police and the FBI are offering a combined reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the return of Relisha Rudd. Developing now, a man is dead after being shot in a restaurant in Hyattsville. Prince George's County Police say it happened at about 8 p.m. on University Boulevard. The man died inside the restaurant. Police say everyone involved has been identified. The reason for the shooting is currently unclear. To the district now, where a man is in the hospital after being shot by an off-duty police officer in Southeast. Investigators say it happened at about midnight yesterday on Potomac Avenue near 18th Street. Investigators believe the officer driving his vehicle and another car crashed into each other. They say both drivers got out of their cars and then an altercation followed. That's when police say the off-duty detective shot his department-issued gun, hitting the man. That man was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. That detective is on administrative leave. In Maryland, a police chase turned deadly. The Attorney General's office says a Hyattsville officer attempted to pull over a driver on East West Highway, but the driver took off. Officials say the officer reportedly called off the chase sometime later, but the suspect, they say, kept going and then hit and killed a pedestrian on the shoulder of the road. That driver is now in police custody. Montgomery County officials releasing an update on a house fire from Friday night. Fire officials say one of the two people hospitalized in that blaze in Kensington has now died. The house fire was on Aurora Drive. Officials say the home had no working smoke alarms. They are still trying to figure out the exact cause of this fire. And we're also learning new information on a different house fire from 2 weeks ago. Those images on your screen. Officials say the man rescued from those flames by firefighters has now died in the hospital. That fire happened on Oak Avenue in Gaithersburg mid last month. The cause of the fire is still unknown. 8:06 in national news. President Donald Trump is accelerating efforts to bolster military support when it comes to securing the U.S.-Mexico border. The Pentagon says they're sending over 4,000 soldiers as part of a Stryker Brigade combat team. And then about 650 more troops will be sent to the southwest border as part of a General Support Aviation Battalion. The Pentagon says those troops should arrive in the coming weeks. In Maryland, as many recently fired federal workers look for their next chapter, a summit in Greenbelt helped connect those laid off with resources and opportunities. Former federal workers talked with federal employee unions, representatives from state and local agencies. At that summit yesterday at Greenbelt Middle School, local leaders, Congressman Glenn Ivey and Prince George's County Council Chair Jolene Ivey also providing support. Federal workers at the event say separation from their agencies was abrupt.
It was a very uncomfortable feeling. It was a hurting feeling because you give all as a public servant to the United States and we're just thrown apart like we're nothing.
Officials say about 73,000 federal workers live in Prince George's County. 8:07, some sad news to report this morning. R&B singer Angie Stone died in a car crash. Music producer Walter Millsap says Stone was riding to Atlanta from Alabama in a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van when the van flipped over and was hit by a big rig. He says everyone else in the van survived. Stone, best known for her hit song Wish I Didn't Miss You. She was 63 years old. Today, the Catholic community will meet to pray for Pope Francis. The Pope still in stable condition, according to the Vatican, after a respiratory crisis from double pneumonia. Officials say the Pope spent long periods of the day off the non-invasive mechanical ventilation. The Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, the largest Roman Catholic church in the country, will host a special service for the Pope today at noon. And this afternoon, a live figure skating tribute in the district to honor the lives lost in that mid-air plane collision. Some of the world's best figure skaters will take to the ice for Legacy on Ice at Capital One Arena. Olympians including Nancy Kerrigan, Nathan Chen, and Peggy Fleming will all perform. The event will be hosted by Olympic champions Brian Boitano and Christy Yamaguchi. The skaters showing support for families and loved ones of the victims impacted by the collision in January near DCA. One of the skaters says she'll be performing in honor of her coach she lost that night.
This will always be something that, is in our hearts, and it's always something that's going to be there. So it's going to be hard, and it's going to take a while for us to, move on. But we'll always remember these people that were lost. I think we just have to be there for each other, and if somebody needs to take time off or needs a hug or whatever, we just have to be there for, our teammates.
All the money raised from the event will go to victims' families and first responders. That event starts at 3 o'clock today. Well, it's not football season, but we are talking about the Washington Commanders, and that's because they traded for star wide receiver Deebo Samuel from the San Francisco 49ers. Jaden Daniels getting another weapon for his offense, the team giving up a 5th-round pick for the wide receiver. Now, Samuel was hurt last season and had a bit of a down year, but he is expected to be the second option for the Commanders behind Scary Terry. Well, the district went all out celebrating Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras at the Wharf yesterday had dozens of floats, stilt walkers, and jugglers at the annual parade. This video courtesy my weekend morning producer, Cheyenne. The night ended with a firework show. Our producer said it was a good time, and I wish I was there, Brittany, but I don't know if I would have been able to deal with those winds yesterday, which clearly they're still whipping. So when do we get a break from the wind, a break from the cold temperatures, back to spring because we sprung yesterday?
So for your first question, the winds, we'll start to see them die down later on this afternoon, and then those spring-like temperatures will be returning as we head towards the middle of the work week. So we do have to get through today. Temperatures stepping out the door right now are still fairly chilly. We're sitting below the freezing mark here in the nation's capital. Still going to be holding on to the upper 20s as we head right around 9 o'clock. Then we're tracking mid-30s as we head through your afternoon, and then by the second half of our afternoon, that's when we'll start to see those highs getting into the 40s. So keep it here. We'll talk more about that warm up in that 8-day Tosin up next.
All right, Brittany, thank you. We'll talk